How you doing, gentlemen? We're going to be talking about travel again, following on from last week. Nick's not here today, hence the background. He had a lovely background of some scenery for last week, so I thought I'll in his absence I'll try and smart it up a little bit. So we was talking about, I think we kind of ended talking about solo travel, and Nick was talking about his experience of traveling solo. So I just wanted to like kind of get your opinions on that, and if you've done it yourself, and what was your thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, I think if you haven't done it, I think it's certainly something that I would give a go. It can be a bit sort of daunting, when you kind of start thinking about sort of planning, a trip on your own. Am I going to like it? Am I going to get bored? Do you know what I mean? Because it's unnerving going into the unknown. But I've done it a few times now, to be honest, and I absolutely love it. I love solo travel. Not to say I don't like the group travel as well, but I do like the solo travel because it kind of allows you to kind of just be. It allows for a lot of thinking time. It allows you to be a bit more adventurous, really. It also allows you to kind of plan, and take control on how you want to shape that whatever period of time you're going to be away from, from the UK, whatever it is, because. And also, in terms of the benefits, really, I think there are obvious benefits. They're meeting new people. Do you know what I mean? I've been to 1 or 2 countries now, and I've got friends that I've met and over the last 3 to 4 years that I would consider, friends from afar. Still keep in contact with them. And who knows? I mean, I might still plan to meet up with them in the next few years. Who knows? But definitely, I think solo travel, there is a lot of benefits to it, and it's very educational as well. To be honest, I mean, sometimes I think Nick said it last week. He put a pin in a map, and I think it was Chiang Mai that he went to, and he came up with that beautiful word. He didn't choose Chiang Mai chose him. And he had a very beautiful experience. That one that I think he will have probably, a lifelong sort of connection with. Do you know what I mean? So they are obvious benefits of travel. Do you know what I mean? But and just finally, mindfulness as well. Honestly, it allows you to kind of really do some personal development. Because you're on your time, you're on your agenda. Do you know what I mean? You can kind of control the narrative. Do you know what I mean? And you can just be. And I think sometimes with a hullabaloo of sort of everyday life, do you know what I mean? That's a part of we don't really invest enough of that. Do you know what I mean? So solo travel, if you want to, that is, can give you that time just to focus on self.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, brilliant. Anthony, have you had any solo travel experiences? Let me know. What was it? What was it like?
Yeah, I mean, I've been I've been to Europe by myself a couple of times, mostly in Germany, really. And what I do understand that moment when you get into the airport and it's just you.
Yeah.
And you look around and the baggage is just yours.
Yeah.
And then you go through and you sit down and you're waiting and it's just you. And when you get on a plane, you sit in an allocated seat and it's just you sitting there. That whole experience.
Yeah.
And then you get out of the plane and that's it. You're by yourself. But luckily for me, I mean, I've been over there. I do have friends over there, but I've gone over there by myself, where I've had a day by myself or a couple of days. And you're right, it does. It is something different. You start wondering, don't you? And you start looking around and start going, I wonder what it would be like if I've never noticed that before. And I think that point of for me, solo travel is good. I've never really done a lot of it though, right? I'm not exactly saying that I need somebody to hold my hand when I travel.
Yeah.
But I've never really done a lot of it. For me, I really can't go too much into it. I mean, you two guys are a lot more expert. Well, you're expert in this kind of subject, but I can see the benefits of it. And I would probably like to do it one day by myself. Maybe go to Brighton or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you could call that solo traveling, if you just chip down to Brighton by yourself, I suppose that's solo traveling as well, isn't it? Really, out of London anyway. I mean, that being said, I think I've had experiences of traveling to places like Wales by myself, and I thought that was a good experience. I went to Cardiff and then traveled down to Swansea. That was, it was interesting. Some lovely people I met there. But I think the major one for me was when Nick went to Thailand for 6 weeks. I think it was 6-7 weeks. And he come back and he told me about his experience, and I was like, you know what, I think I need to get some of this. And I decided to I started to plan a sabbatical from work. So it took about 9 months to get everything together and arrange the finances and money and stuff to do all the traveling. So I approached work and I said, look, I want to go on sabbatical, and I want to take 3 months off of work. And my manager at that time was really, really nice guy. Said, "Yeah, no problem. Listen, we'll accommodate it, and we'll get someone in temporary while you're away." So brilliant. So here I am. I'm jetting off, and like yourself, Anthony, you get there, you get to the airport, and then you realize, hang on, I'm by myself here, and I don't know who I'm going to sit next to. I don't know what it's going to be like at the other end, but I went there with a lot of faith in my heart, and I just thought, you know what, let me just do this, man up and get on with it. So I went on a plane, sitting next to two lovely people, got on really well. It was a 12-hour flight, touchdown in Thailand, and that was a 12-hour, and then there was an hour and a half flight down to Ao Nang in Krabi. So and that was quite seamless, actually. There was no problems. Thai people are very efficient, and they know what they're doing. So I got to Krabi and unpacked all my stuff, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do for 2 months? And my want was to relax, learn to relax, because we go on holiday for 2 weeks. By the time you're on your way back, you're just thinking to yourself, I need to. I haven't even really relaxed. I've gone and traveled around here. I've been to see this place. I've been to, I've been to see some sites and stuff like that. And there's a lot of energy involved. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to do nothing. So all I did was eat, sleep, chill. Eat, sleep, chill. And I was doing that for a few days, and I found it really difficult, because I couldn't really relax. I was like, I needed to do something. And it took me about 2 weeks to actually learn how to relax properly. And I was journaling everything that I was doing throughout that period of time as well. And the great thing about that experience, it really taught me that, one, I don't know how to relax really, because the weekend is not long enough. 2 weeks it took me to learn how to relax and slow my mind down, and then another 2 weeks to just chill and do nothing. But then the next couple of months was absolutely amazing, because I was able to everything just kind of worked in synchrony, in harmony with everything, because I was in this relaxed state and I was chilled. And my holiday was just great. And I remember coming back and thinking to myself after the 3 months, the most important thing that I've learned from this. And I saw some beautiful places, met some lovely people, some great food. I saw some amazing sites, like breathtaking. But the most important thing was that I actually learned how to relax. And I came back and I said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna make room to chill out, and my Sundays be a lot more relaxed than it was before. Instead of going to shopping and all that kind of stuff, just take time out and go for a walk in a park and chill and be with nature. And I know that sounds a bit crazy, but that's what I kind of learned from doing solo traveling. I learned a lot more about myself and what I really liked and what I needed within life at this age. So yeah, my experience of solo traveling was great, and I would really encourage people to give it a go. I've experienced going on holiday with my friends, which was great. I mean, we went on holiday not long ago, Michael, didn't we? And that was fun. But it doesn't really give you that kind of that time with self, really, does it? What do you think, Mike? No,
it doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I kind of relaxed with myself. I felt like I was kind of doing stuff. I was always busy, was going on trips and going around here and doing that and going shopping and all different types of things. And yeah, it was busy. But being by myself, I could, like you said as well, Mike, and I'm sure you say, Anthony, you spend a little bit more time with yourself and contemplating what you do and how to manage yourself and manage the things that you're doing on a daily basis. I like that. I thought that was really good. Yeah. So yeah, I would encourage it. So in terms of traveling, like we've spoken about, going to different places, but I had a conversation with someone this week, and they're going out to places like Paris and other parts of Europe, which as a working class black person, just going to places like Sweden or Switzerland or places of that nature, it's not something that really I'm drawn to, but I'm becoming more drawn to it now. What do you think about that, and why is it that people from working class backgrounds generally go to Spain or places of that nature rather than taking a trip to maybe the Alps, for instance? What do you think about that, Anthony? What do you reckon?
Well, one, I think it's to do with money.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I think that's a big factor. Right. So if I was going to say, right, let's all go to Copenhagen, blah 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 blah, it's going to. I mean, actually, can't even say Copenhagen. If you want to go to somewhere a little bit more exotic, it's going to cost you a little bit more than £500 for a flight, right? Where if you can go to somewhere like, I don't know, Costa Dells or the Benidorms of the world or whatever, you can get a flight for about 200 or something quid, or you can get an all-inclusive. So I think money does have a bearing on that as well. Also, I think it's a case of, there's a meal that you eat, right? And it's your go-to meal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Regardless of what happens, if you go out to a restaurant, it's your go-to meal. So it could be Italian, it could be Indian, it could be Chinese, but there's a go-to meal that you will eat because you know when you have it, regardless of what's on the menu, you're going to like it. It might be cooked slightly different, or might be slightly whatever, but you're going to like it, right?
Yeah.
And I think people are creatures of habit, so you kind of get into that sort of that habit forming mentality of let's just go to Spain, let's just go because we love it there.
I think Michael was talking about that as well last week.
Yeah.
People
do you know
going
what
back
I mean?
to Jamaica with the sun.
Well, this is what I mean. And you get into that habit. And I think the community start getting the habit. But from the minute you break that habit, like I said, I've been lucky enough to go to different parts of Europe. And all of a sudden, as a black person, I think I'm a black person, as a black person going over there, you start to, all your sort of perceptions of sort of feeling like you're not welcome, I found it slightly different. I've actually found it's the opposite, right? But I won't lie, there are certain parts of Europe that if you go to, you are going to get maybe that look, are you a migrant, this or whatever, whatever. But the minute you start speaking, the minute you start seeing your behavior, all of a sudden it breaks barriers. So, but I think money, prejudices as well, and I don't mean prejudices what we get. I'm talking about our prejudice thinking of locations. I don't want to go there. Like me, we were just talking before. I'll get off in a minute, but we'll talk about skiing, right? Skiing is just not for me, right? And I've been invited so many times to go, but I've looked at it that I do enough sports. I don't want to go skiing and do a sport. I want to sit in the sun. I want sand in my feet. I want a drink by me. I want the sun on me, right? I don't want snow. And it's simple as that. But people would say, but you don't know. I need to experience it. And they're totally right. But that's my prejudice now. Well, I like sand and sun and the usual connotations that go with it. And that's probably why a lot of people still tend not to go to certain places.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. Mike, what would you?
No, I think Anthony's right. I think economics definitely play a major part. I think people are slightly more ambitious now. People do have more choice, but certainly in years gone by, I think economics. When people were planning their summer holidays, economics played a big part of where that choice was, and normally would be sort of mainland Europe might be the obvious choice. also, you know, there's the time factor as well. It's logistics. If you've got a young family, do you know what I mean? Do you really want to be, you know, a baby or two small babies? Do you really want to be on a 13-hour flight going over to Thailand? Do you know what I mean? Or wherever you want to go. So logistics do play a part of it as well. Do you know what I mean? It does it fit my kind of, you know, my situation right here and now. What is another thing is we're pattern-seeking mammals, aren't we? We tend to migrate back to the same place, particularly if you've had a really good experience. Do you know what I mean? With somewhere. Do you know what I mean? You know, if it's not broken, does it need fixing? Perhaps not. Do you know what I mean? You know, if I'm a bit more risque and I put the pin on the map, I don't know if that's going to work out. But I know if you know, I know the guy who serves the drinks behind the bar. He knows me. I don't even have to tell him what I need to drink. He's already got the drink lined up. That's fine. My wife, you know what I mean? She knows, you know, a couple of people, you know, when she goes to, you know, for the salon and this and that and other, she's got a couple of mates. So, you know, all of those things, you know, do play a factor. People like to be safe. People don't like to take risks. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
You know,
sure.
and I get it. Do you know what I mean? You know, if your personal set of circumstances don't equal a risk, why would you take one? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holidays are very, very expensive now, or can be.
And they're precious as well.
Absolutely, they are precious. So you want to make it a good experience, right? Don't
you?
you?
Absolutely. And
yeah,
some good points. Some good points.
So I kind of get all of that, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? But I think, and also creature comforts. You know, people like the things that they like to eat. You know, they like a fry up, they like a whatever. Do you know what I mean? If I go somewhere more exotic, am I going to be able to get what I like to eat food wise? Do you know what I mean? Maybe not. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But you know, I think, you know, it is good to, you know, I mean, that's one side of the coin. But the other side of the coin is, it is good to take risks sometimes. It really is, because you know you do learn a lot through travel. Do you know what I mean? Educational, culture wise. Do you know what I mean? Different friends. You know, can make a new set of friends, because if you go back to the same set, all right, you might know the person behind the bar, but is he really new? Is that a new experience? No, it's not.
True.
You know what I mean? So I think it's pros and cons, and I think it's down to the individual and what you want to. What do you actually want out of a holiday? Do I want to go skiing? Like, am I a thrill seeker? Like Anthony said, me, not really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I'm being not at this stage, perhaps maybe.
I don't want to break my leg or.
That's right.
That's not what holidays are for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but see, the thing is just following on from what both of you are saying is are we being a bit naive here? Because remember, I spoke when we spoke last week, and I was about like I didn't even want to go out of South London when I was young. And then when I went on my first holiday to Greece, that was kind of like it. I got
no, I agree with you.
Holiday.
I agree with you. But people have to make their choice, don't they, Win? Do you know what I mean?
Thing is, because no, and I'll get you. This is where the naivety might be coming in here, because I've spoken to people who have been away on the holidays, and they've been on skiing holidays, and they've told me, okay, it was cold at the bottom of the mountain, but when you got to the top of the mountain, it was roasting hot.
I 100% agree with you.
And
I agree.
You know, bevying up and having a good jolly old time. So
and they jumped into the sea, didn't they? And there was lots of sea little fishes around them, and they actually feel the sand in the thing. Yeah,
no.
Is that right?
I agree. I get it. But you know, but the thing is, I don't like all-inclusive holidays.
Yeah. Okay.
I find them quite tedious and boring. But some people do. I mean, I could sit on the same complex in a foreign country. I could do that here.
Yeah,
I don't see, but that suits some people.
This is what I'm saying, and it's half a dozen of this and half a dozen of the other. So what suits you might not suit somebody else, but there is an experience to have. So I was talking to a friend of mine again, a colleague from work, and he's going away to Paris for the weekend, and they're going to do some arty stuff, so to speak, and it's just for the weekend.
Yeah,
it's affordable. It's the Eurostar travel.
I like that.
It's not too expensive.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about if you're going out like every week, let's say every Friday you're going to bevying it up, you're spending X amount of money. You can actually use that X amount of money and spend a little go for a weekend away each month or every other month. So they're going to Paris. I also I spoke with you as well, Anthony, and you've been to like parts of Europe, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'd like to go to Belgium. I've never been to Belgium.
Yeah.
I'd like
love
to
it.
go to Sweden.
Yeah,
I've never been to
it's true.
Sweden.
It's true.
I understand it's expensive, but maybe for the day we could get
Yeah,
Eurostar, come back
yeah,
the next day.
yeah.
So are we being a little bit naive in terms of, because I'm sure we've all been to Manchester, Liverpool, Newcastle
But
for
have we, but
whether
have we though? Have we? There are parts of this country that we've never been to.
no,
Absolutely right.
absolutely,
Do you know what I
absolutely,
mean?
and
Yeah,
and I think that type of exploring needs to be had more, and we can also do that in the UK because I haven't
yeah,
been to
yeah,
Scotland.
yeah.
I've not
I've
been
never
to. I
been.
haven't been to
Yeah,
Ireland.
yeah,
It's a joke,
yeah,
really. It's ridiculous. How can
yeah.
I'm in my 50s. I've never been to Scotland or Ireland.
I've
It's
never
crazy.
been. I've never been.
So I don't think I'm really traveling enough, and I'm going to make it. I've made a decision that as from this year, I'm going to travel to European destinations for a weekend at
I
least
like it.
twice
I
for the
like
year.
it.
At
Yeah,
least twice for the year.
yeah.
So that being said, I wanted to kind of talk about food experiences
Mm, mm,
and how you found
yeah,
food abroad, because
yeah.
I've been to Italian restaurant, some nice Italian restaurants in London, central London, if you wanna go there. And I went to Italy. I was in Venice, and I had a standard spaghetti bolognese in St. Mark's Square, and it was the best thing I ever tasted in my life in terms
Mm,
of spaghetti bolognese.
mm.
Nobody can make it like that in London. So
Wow.
there's something about going to another country and and having a dish there and experiencing it with Italian chefs or the
Mm,
chefs from that native country.
mm,
And I've experienced it when I've been to Jamaica as well. I've never had food
yeah,
in England like I've had like Jamaica food in England like I've had in Jamaica.
yeah,
It's on the
yeah,
Richter scale. So
yeah,
do you have you had very similar kind of experiences?
yeah.
Mm.
Well, we had it in Thailand.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? The food in Thailand, absolutely amazing,
Mm.
to be honest. Do you know what I mean? So fresh, so flavorful, and so affordable as
Yeah.
well.
Mm.
The street food. Remember, we went to the street market. We went to the markets and stuff like that.
I could eat street food all day long. It's not even a
Yeah,
problem.
and you
It's
did,
that
by the
good.
way.
I did, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's that
No,
good.
but it's that good. It's
Mm.
that good and so affordable. You
Yeah.
know, but I think sometimes it's just the mindset, isn't it? Really, because some people do have that bit of a brain freeze or there is some blockage there that they want to put that tin of baked beans in their suitcase when they go to Thailand or they go.
Yeah. You've seen the adverts for it, haven't you?
It happens. Do you know what I mean? But if you open your mind to it, do you know what I mean? There's a possibility there. But I do agree with you. I think it is a bit more when you go to the indigenous country, if you like, the food made in the indigenous country is far. I think it's far more authentic. I think
Yeah,
it's authentic.
I'd agree. Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say, Anthony? Have you experienced like having
Well, look, I'm in Greece every year, so you don't need to talk to me about authentic food. I
Yeah,
mean,
but there's a lovely Greek restaurant on Streatham High Road. Is the food
yeah,
in
right,
Greece as good as that one?
okay. Where?
You,
Where on Streatham High Road?
you don't know it? No, you know
No, I'm
it.
telling you, there was no. Listen,
Opposite the ABC, there was a Greek. There used to be a Greek
No,
restaurant.
I don't think it's there anymore.
there
Is it
used
not
to
there?
be. It's
No, I
no
don't think
longer
so.
there, right? Let
Trust
me
me,
tell you
that was
something.
top
Let me
job.
That was
tell you
good.
something.
Mm.
The difference is when, and if anybody who's Greek was listening to this now, I know what they would say to me. When you go and eat Greek food, it's simple. It's cooked simply. It's done in a way, but it's fresh. It could be like they have a thing over there called gyros, which is if you ever had that, it's like they call it over here we call it kebab, but it's not. Gyros is like a wrapped thing, and you can have it over here in the different versions. But you go over there, and you just like this. It's like we were talking about today. We were eating. I mean, we're in a coffee shop, and the other half got some it was a lemon cake or something like that, and we tried it all, and it's really unbelievable.
Yeah.
But when I'm in Germany, oh my gosh, the pastries and stuff they have over there is just incredible. It's just like you can't. I just don't know. Even the bread and whatever. I'm not telling everybody to go and eat all these stuff because they're gonna say I don't eat all that stuff because I'm gonna put on weight, but it doesn't. I don't really care, right? But seriously, it's just something about the way they cook it, the ingredients. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And when you have fresh tomatoes, that don't look red.
Yeah.
They're green. You know, they're the ones that they call the wonky food, you know, you throw away. That's the food that you eat over there, you know, and it's like Greek salad. I mean, anyway, I could carry on, but I totally agree with you. Having food in other countries cooked in their way is an experience. And I'm lucky enough to be able to have that almost every year.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
So it's amazing, you know.
Just wanted to read something quickly from Google about travel. And it says travel can significantly improve your well-being by reducing stress, boosting confidence, enhancing mindfulness, promoting gratitude, strengthening relationships, and providing opportunities for personal growth through exposure to new cultures and experiences, ultimately leading to increased happiness and a decrease of risk of depression. What do you think about that?
Oh, wow. There's a lot of benefits there. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefits there.
Obviously, depending on where you're going.
Depending on where you're going.
Okay.
If you're going Blackpool, it might be a different.
But you know what,
don't ever go to Blackpool, people.
But you know, expense to one side. You know what I mean, if
you know, you're going to be a lot of drinking in Blackpool.
Yeah. If it's just simply getting away, and economics is the kind of stumbling block, then we got to. Well, I would suggest if people can try and get creative. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
You know, you're talking about shorter breaks, weekend breaks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Within the UK, do you know what I mean? You know, because not everybody can get on a plane. It's just we're in a cost of living crisis. We all know that.
People don't like it.
So sometimes, you know, we need to get a bit creative. Do you know what I mean? And look how we can, you know, some of those benefits you've just talked about there. How can we get those benefits in the UK?
Well, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you both a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Have you ever had anything on holiday when you look back and you think, wow, that was how did that was amazing. That was either hilarious or like, wow, I'd never got that back in the UK.
Yeah, loads.
Well, I mean, well, it wasn't hilarious, but we did a 5-island tour in Thailand just now, and that that wasn't behind. You know the picture that behind you, Win. That wasn't the 5-island tour, was it, Win? I don't believe that was. That was in Ao Nang, wasn't it?
Yeah, we was coming back on the ferry from Phuket to Ao Nang.
Yeah, but that wasn't that wasn't part of the 5-island tour though.
That
some of the
tour photos are brilliant.
That blew my mind.
100%.
Absolutely blew my mind. Do you know what I mean? Because Win had spoke about PP Islands and things like that, but I thought, yeah, all right. Do you know what I mean? But when you're up close and personal, it's totally amazing. Totally amazing. It really is. Yeah.
Well, I had an experience.
So beautiful. Yeah.
It was I just following on from what Mike's saying. I had an experience when I went on my first trip to Thailand. No, my second trip to Thailand, but when I went by myself, and I was like really gassed up because I was going to Railay. And that's in Ao Nang. I went on. There's the first 5-island tour that I went on, and I saw this videos about Railay, and I really wanted to go there so badly. And when I actually got there, I was gassed. I got there, the sort of views and the beach and the vibe. I was like, okay, cool, I'm here. And I remember the guide saying, look, you got about an hour and a half to have a look around. So okay, so I'm like, all right, yeah, thanks, yeah, I'm gone. Laid out my towel, went swimming in the sea and stuff, come back relaxed, went back out swimming, relaxed again. And here I am thinking like, okay, I totally forgot that I got a boat to catch to come back. So anyway, it got to about 2.5 hours. And I was, it was, no, I didn't even realize. I just jumped up and I was like, wait a minute, I'm meant to be getting a boat back. But I didn't realize because I was so chilled out.
So did you miss the boat?
I missed the bus. Yeah, I'm sorry, the bus. I missed the boat.
Yeah.
I missed the boat. But the crazy thing is, and this would not happen in England, one of the guides waited for me at Ao Nang. I mean, at Railay. They waited for me and got me a boat to go back to Ao Nang. Really? Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
That's right.
So I gave them a mad tip, and it was like, yeah, thank you for that. But you wouldn't get that kind of experience in the UK. But yeah, that was my kind of crazy experience that I had, and yeah, thank goodness. It was a Man United supporter as well, so Yeah, big up Man United for that.
Yeah, Man United for that.
But
Yeah.
I'll just do very, very quick because I'm mindful of time. One,
Yes.
on holiday, I was in Rhodes. Yeah, okay. Which is, you've been to Rhodes, haven't you, Winnie? Is it
Yeah,
Rhodes?
beautiful, beautiful place.
In
Love
Rhodes.
it.
So we're walking down this little area, and there's all these restaurants and stuff like this. So I'm walking by, and I would say that the only black people that they have there maybe so much as tourism or Americans or whatever, okay, or African people that are selling things and stuff like that. But if you're not, then it's like you get not in a racist of like, who are you? Where are you from? Whatever. So I went up to this restaurant, and it's on the beach. They've got a picture of it actually. And this guy goes, "You're a footballer." And I went, "What? You're hiding. You're a footballer, aren't you?" And I went, "Well, I play football." He goes, "No, I know who you are. Come sit down. Sit down." She gave us food,
Wow.
drinks, the whole thing. He kept saying, "I'm going to find out what football, what club you played for." And I was like,
Dominic Solanke.
well, every time I was going to say something, he interrupted me. So it got
Campbell.
to a point.
Chris Hughton.
We don't use profanity. And Chris Hughton is probably not.
All right. Ledley King.
Well, anyway, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. But the whole time, the guy thought I was a footballer. He just would not stop. And at the end of it, he said, "Can I have your autograph? Tell me who you are." And I was like, "Whatever." So at the time, Miss was like, "You completely milked that." I went, "I didn't have an opportunity to say nothing. He wouldn't do it." And then obviously
Fantastic.
the last thing is when I used to go to Germany, like, I always used to get asked the same question: "What team?" Like the police. So, "What team are you from?" And I used to think, "Well, am I in problems?" I said, "No, what team do you play for?" And I went, "Don't know. Do I have to play for a team?" "That's okay. You're from. I know your team. What team? What team? You're a footballer? You're football." I was like, "Yeah." So I used to get this. I've got this about seriously 5 or 6 times on holiday.
Crazy.
And no one
I
said,
don't
"Are
know
you
what
this
it
player?"
is.
Directly.
Crazy.
Sorry?
They've not identified who the player was that they thought you was. By any
No,
chance.
you know the old thing. You all look alike, but I don't know. It was, at that time, I was like, "I'll take this." You know.
Thank
fine.
you. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
that's what I'm trying to say. I didn't get any prejudices. It was just like, you look like something, and this is kind of like, you go to Germany or whatever, and I'm like, no, it wasn't like that at all. It's just like you look like somebody, and they kind of wanted to, they reacted, and that was it. So going back to what you said, sometimes, like you said, Michael, you need to take a risk. Go to places sometimes when you think, "Oh, maybe," and you'd be so surprised when you think, "Well, I didn't expect that. I feel like I'm royalty here." You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, we're going to be talking about relocating next week, and as we're at that age where we're thinking about what we're going to do with the rest of our lives. So I'm not going to go into it too much, but is that something that you've considered? Maybe up sticks in and move into another country?
Totally.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Just don't know where, but it's something that I would. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure, like relocate, but we'll talk about it next week. But maybe do a few months of the year somewhere and a few months of the year back here. That kind of
Well,
model.
like a 40-60 split, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's on my mind for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But we will discuss it further next week.
Yeah.
So thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you, guys.
I'll see you
appreciate that.
next week.
Take care, guys.
Amigos.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.